Over in LA, the rich and famous are paying big money for full body scans to learn about their health. But are they worth it? We sent our Ross King to find out.
What if there was a way that you could see inside your body and see the early signs of cancer or other life-threatening diseases? Well, there actually is. And here in LA, the celebrities are lining up for it.
Paris Hilton, Kate Hudson and Kim Kardashian have all been open about the benefits of these expensive body scans.
I've come today here to Pronuvo to actually see what it's all about and go for it myself.
We're going to do a preventative scan of your entire body, so screen you head to toe. It's going to take about 45 minutes. And we're going to screen for over 500 conditions, so it's going to be an extremely comprehensive baseline of your health.
So what are you hoping to see today, or maybe what are you hoping not to see?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll just give you this incredible peace of mind that comes from knowing what is going on inside. And should we find anything, we generally find it at a very, very early stage, mostly before symptoms present. It gives you the possibility to intervene in a much more successful way.
It's amazing, but it's not cheap.
It's not cheap, but I think it's important to understand how comprehensive this test is. Up until a few years ago, such a test would cost tens of thousands of dollars and take 3 to 4 hours, whereas we were able to bring it down to below 1 hour and a price point that's still expensive for many people, but it's not completely out of reach at $2,500.
Cindy Crawford, she's part of the company too?
Cindy Crawford is one of our early investors, yes.
Because she's very much into health, isn't she?
She's extremely health focused, and she's as beautiful on the inside as she's on the outside. In the LA community, we also had, a few celebrities that came in, which are always friends with other celebrities, so then that word of mouth just is getting spread.
Thank you so much. Bye. Wow, it's the most relaxing 45 minutes I've had in a long time. Quite weird, but here's hoping for good results.
Well, Ross is with us now. Well, I think you're a fine figure of a man, and I can't imagine there's anything wrong with you at all. But in all seriousness, what is it like waiting for the results? And do you know, is there anything you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, nothing really, just a couple of small things, all puns intended there, Dr. Hills. Because of my age, there's little bits in my back. I should eat more vegetables and fruit. It was really interesting, though, that when we went in to film it at Pronuvo, the crew were like, oh, no, I don't fancy this at all. But after it, they're all going, oh, yeah, I'd like to do that as well. I can get a little bit claustrophobic, but it wasn't too bad because you're in there and you can actually watch videos as well, so the time goes by quite quickly. Obviously, there's a little bit of an anxious wait, but it was only a few days. They say if they spot anything really serious, they will call you immediately. My own doctor got the results very early as well. He called me before even they did. And then a doctor representing Pronuvo actually had a Zoom call with me for 30 to 40 minutes and went over absolutely everything. It was incredible, just going through everything in your body and then saying, you probably don't need it for another couple of years. It is coming to the UK next spring, and the prices they are hoping will keep coming down.
Well, they'd have to be, wouldn't
but
they?
I just think
it's out of anybody's
I speak
price
to Hills
range,
a lot,
isn't
and
it?
Hills, as we know, is brilliant. Oh yeah, but I speak to Hills a lot, and as we know, you get checking your prostate, yearly checkup, the nuclear heart stress test that I had as well, just because I talked to Hills too. So it's very interesting. I must say I enjoyed it, and also I did like getting results that told me that I was in not bad shape.
Well, this is good news, actually. And Dr. Hilary, what do you make of this then? Because it looks like an MRI scan to me, which are obviously only used in very serious circumstances in the NHS.
First of all, I'm very pleased that Ross is fine and doing fine and dandy, despite his lifestyle. Well done, Ross. You passed the test. I think it's important to realise...
He had a body double.
Body double. I think it's important to realise that this is not for everybody. And these total body scans have their limitations. They're not preventative. They don't prevent disease, which is what I heard.
No, but catching something early.
Yeah, sure, but it won't catch blood cancer early. It wouldn't detect a blood cancer early. So people need to know that it has its limitations. And of course, if you have a scan today and it looks fine, that's not to say something isn't developing tomorrow. And you could get a false reassurance because you're thinking you're fine.
So you're saying that if you did this, your concern is that then, say if in a couple of weeks' time you've got a sort of funny pain, you think, I'm fine, actually, I won't go to the doctor about that. I know I'm fine because I had this
potentially.
scan.
But the other point is that for most people, most healthy adults with no symptoms, these scans are rarely going to detect anything sinister. Rarely. So it wouldn't be a screening test for everybody in the future. However, if you've got a strong family history of certain cancers, or you were a heavy smoker all your life, then you're high risk and this scan would be more relevant. The real thing, and I have to say this, is that in the medical world we have our own secrets that we talk about, and we use the acronym VOMIT. VOMIT, and it stands for Victims of Medical Imaging Technology. So if you're having these scans, you need to understand that there is an advertising hype. Celebrity endorsement doesn't mean it's brilliant, it's expensive, and it will miss things. It's not a perfect screening test. So it has to be used appropriately for the right people.
That's really interesting. What do you make of that, Ross? I mean, do you agree with some of what Hilary said there?
Absolutely, it's really interesting. My whole thing was that I'm really keen just to stay as fit and healthy as I can.
Yeah.
So I found that any help is a help.
Knowledge is power.
But I know
thing.
exactly what Hills is saying with everything else. But, you know, I feel that if there's anything that I can prevent happening in the future, if there's any tests, I feel very fortunate, very lucky.
Yeah.
The other thing is you will find what we call incidentalomas. So these are benign things you had no knowledge of, you wouldn't have known about, and then you're worried. They say, we did find this, we're not sure what it is. Then you need further tests. It might be an endoscopy or it might be a blood test. So it will worry people when something benign is found, which doesn't need any treatment you wouldn't have known anything about.
So you've got vomit, and what's the other thing you've taught us today?
So it won't detect blood cancers and incidentalomas.
Incidentalomas.
That have always been there, you wouldn't have known anything. I mean, for example, people find out they've got one kidney instead of two, or they've got a horseshoe kidney, but it's working perfectly well, and then people get worried. But I have to say that this is available in the UK already. There are other companies that have these machines, and it's been here for a little while. So it's nothing particularly new, has to have its limitations told to people.
Now you've been told.